Hey everyone, Michelle here at Be Rejuvenated Studio. Thanks for joining me today, and I'm so happy to have you join me as we rejuvenate together in our corner of the world where I believe that real beauty equals inner beauty. Today, our topic is about how we manifest and sort of the science behind manifesting, sort of like an understanding of how it works with your mind, because as I had mentioned in my last video very briefly, manifesting has everything to do with our subconscious mind, and that's where all of the manifesting is created. So I wanted to get a little bit more into that because I get a lot of questions, people asking me all the time, can you explain to me a little bit more how this works so I have a better understanding, and it can help me but just have that understanding of how manifesting actually works. So it's, as I mentioned too in my last video, it's really so simple, and when you apply this, everything just works out for you. And in a way, it's kind of like stepping into the unknown, where you just relax, you open your heart, and you let go. And a big part of this is using your energy, your vibrations, and not your words, not actions to force things to happen, but sort of to just allow things to happen. And with that, there's a special formula. And again, it's a very simple thing, and it just echoes what I had said in my last video, but we're going to break it down in this one. So here's the formula. Now, I mentioned many, many times that the thoughts we think and the feelings we feel are really the engine that materializes our desires and manifests into our 3D to become an actual present fact. So the formula is literally combining a feeling and an elevated, which is really an elevated emotion, like Dr. Joe Dispenza says, combined with a thought. And in combining both, what you're doing is you are generating a vibration equivalent to the thing that you desire. And in doing so, just like a radio tuner, that vibration reaches out to your outer magnetic field that surrounds us, it's kind of invisible, you can't see it. But just like a radio tuner or even a satellite, you're sending out a signal with that vibration. And in doing so, you're receiving back things that are like it. And it's sort of an automatic process from there, that what you're outputting vibrationally and in your energy is coming back to you. Now, when we stay mindful of our conscious thoughts and our feelings, and we continue to do this, it eventually impresses upon our subconscious mind, and this becomes our new programming in our mind. So when we are kind of on autopilot at some point, because we're not always consciously thinking, that would be tiring. But what happens is you now have installed new programming into your system, into your mind, and it becomes your new way of thinking and feeling, which then generates what you experience in your real world. So that's pretty much the formula. It's combining a thought with an elevated emotion in your mind, okay? And that thought could be visualizing what it is that you want or what your desire is, and the feeling of it. Now, you have to have those two together. It's so important to have them together because one does not work without the other. You can have a thought, but without the feeling of it, does not, how can I say this? It does not produce a strong vibration or a strong signal. And it goes with the other, vice versa as well. If you have some kind of feeling, but there's really no thought, yeah, you have the feeling, but it doesn't really produce that strong, vibration out there. So let's take, for example, you want a new relationship. So in your mind, what you're going to do is you're going to combine the thought of a relationship and the feeling of having a relationship. How would a relationship feel? You would feel love, right? So you want to feel the feeling of love. And you want to combine a thought in your mind about a relationship. Like maybe you'll see yourself with your special person holding hands or out somewhere or taking a walk by the beach, something like that. Or maybe you'll see a text come through on your phone, okay? And with that, you combine the feeling of love. You combine the feeling of excitement, of exhilaration. And that produces that vibrational feeling of love out into the magnetic field. Now, if you keep this program running and you keep consciously creating these thoughts and these feelings, you are going to see a shift in your world. You're going to see how people automatically change the way they interact with you. And before you know it, that special person, whether it's someone specific or someone that you've never met, it doesn't have to be someone you know. You could say, oh, well, I don't even know anybody. There's nobody in my, my pool of people that I even know that's even eligible. It doesn't matter. Okay, you want to be able to think the thoughts in your mind, things that are, for example, like I am wanted. I am happily married to my husband or my wife who is kind and loving. Something like that. And I'm so happy that I'm in this wonderful relationship with my special person or my husband or my wife. Those are the thoughts that you want to create in your mind on the regular. Excuse me. So as we are doing that, we are consciously creating in the now, because as we are thinking and we are staying present in the now, we are taking those thoughts and we are creating what we're going to experience. Because as I've mentioned many times, if you've listened to any of my videos, whether it's me talking or recordings of people, famous people such as Joe Dispenza, Neville Goddard, Abraham Hicks, it's the same concept. They all teach the same concept, just in their own style, but basically everything is exactly the same in the way of concept. So I'm hoping that this makes a little more sense. I know for me, when I first learned about how this works, it gave me such a deeper perspective and understanding, and it just clicked and made sense. Like, oh, that's how this works. And it really does make sense. And the best part is we're always in control of that. And that's why I always talk about being in the now. Because when we are in the now and our mind is not wandering off into the future or wandering back into the past, now is the time that the thoughts that we think and the feelings we are feeling, this is the time that we're creating. And in actuality, we say create, but everything is already created. It's really more becoming aware. And I'd like to use that better than creating, because again, creating is already done. Everything you want is already created. And becoming aware and realizing that at this present moment, you already are the thing that you want to be, or you already have the thing that you want to be. It's just coming down to a matter of acceptance of the wish fulfilled, of the thing that you want and the person that you want to be. It's also about giving ourselves the things that we want. And that's the best part in our imagination. We can be, do, or have anything we want. There are no restrictions. It's very unlimited, and it's literally anything you could want. Don't be fooled by the circumstances, what people tell you, your limiting beliefs, anything that you've been taught over the years that you can or can't have. No one is there telling you you can't have the things that you want. You're free to go into your imagination and take what you want. And no one is taking anything from you either. You're giving it to yourself. And by doing that, you can feel more abundant. You can know that you have all this abundance and this just basically infinite world of anything you want, just like a big buffet table that you can go in and take whatever it is that you want. And once we know that, it really helps us to harness the power that we have and gain that confidence. You could really feel it from the inside yourself. Wow, I really can do anything I want. And I don't have someone standing there telling me what I can and can't do, like a parent maybe that tells you that, you're not allowed to have this, or you weren't a good girl or boy, so now you can't have that toy that you wanted or that piece of candy. No, it's nothing like that. And keep in mind too, our subconscious mind doesn't care what you've done in the past. It doesn't care. It doesn't judge. It just simply gives you exactly what you want. And that's all. It just listens to your command. It obeys your orders. And the same thing goes for the people on the outside. There really is no one else on the outside. Everyone is just reflecting you. And that's all. So what you're thinking in your mind, it must conform. They must conform. They must obey your orders. They must simply reflect who you are, who you be, what you think of yourself, what you're worthy of, what you know to be yours. And keep persisting in that feeling, and you're going to see very quickly shifts in your outer worlds. You won't have to try to change or force anything. Nothing at all. There are numerous references that state these types of things where you take what you want. It's already there, yours to take freely. There's nothing to pay for. You come and take what you want for free. Okay? And that's exactly what's going on, because really our outer world reflects what we're thinking on the inside. Okay? And no one's taking anything away from you. Okay? You're basically giving it to yourself. So you're going into your mind and you're giving yourself whatever it is that you want. And again, there's no one there telling you that you're not worthy of it, you can't have it. The subconscious mind doesn't judge that way. It doesn't care what you've done, whether you're good, whether you're bad, whether you've done something wrong. It just gives you what you ask it. So ask freely, ask abundantly, ask largely, because nothing, absolutely nothing is off limits. Nothing at all. And that's another concept that I'm going to get into in other videos. I have some really great stuff coming up that I'm really excited to record and put out on YouTube for you. And one of the things is some of the excerpts that I have found very, very enlightening from Dr. Joseph Murphy, who's one of my favorites from one of my favorite books, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. But in any case, I hope that what I've explained here today, it helps you understand how the formula works and how the subconscious mind works a little bit deeper. Again, I want to just state that we are the only operant power in our world. There are no outside forces. There are no outside powers. There is only one power, and that is within us. So take solace, take rest in knowing that, okay? And that's where We call it God, our subconscious mind, our imagination, the universe. Call it whatever you'd like, but it's within us. It's not outside of us. And anything we want, we can have, we can fix, not fix, I don't want to say fix, but we can change. It's just a matter of simply moving in and out of states, which would be something else I can explain more about in another video. But it's more, you have to remember, we're much bigger than the states that we go in and out of. And that just simply means, like, just picture yourself sitting in front of, your computer and you're downloading a program. The program can't work without you pressing the button to start it. So it's the same thing, like anything else. You're the operator, the operant power behind the program. So remember that. You're much bigger than the states you go in and out of. And states simply mean how you're feeling. The state of, let's say, for example, fulfillment, the state of happiness, the state of confidence, the state of satisfaction, the state of love, the state of forgiveness. You name it. You think of anything along those, anything that you want. You can also be in an opposite state, a state of anger, a state of frustration, a state of sadness, anything like that. So those are all examples of states. And again, I just want to reiterate that being the operant power, we're the only cause and the only seed, the only thing that materializes, or decides what it is that we want to experience in our reality. And please, 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 I can't stress it enough. I know I repeat myself over and over again, but until you understand, sometimes that's what it takes. Just the repetitive, hearing that over and over. But do not let circumstances sway you away from your unseen reality, what you see in your imagination. Because they're really just mental circumstances, things that are in your minds. They're not real on the outside unless you make it real in your mind, unless you credit it reality. So the recap here today is really kind of the science behind manifesting and how it works in our subconscious mind, and how our subconscious mind is what materializes the thoughts that we think, the feelings that we feel, and our 3D world. And that formula is combining a thought with an elevated emotion. And together, those two put out a signal out in our magnetic field that attracts back to us the things that we want. And actually, it's all within us. And realize. And when we begin to feel those emotions, whether it's coming from a real event or just something we're imagining, the body doesn't know the difference between the two. And it begins to conform to that feeling. And before you know it, you're changing matter from your energy, from within. And it's not the other way around where matter changes matter. It's energy changing matter. So it's like taking the idea in its energy form and transferring it into a thing, into our 3D world, materializing it, making it into what we're going to actually experience. And the first part of manifesting is the feeling. It's an instant manifestation, feeling the feeling of it. And from there, that is what will materialize along with the thought combined. And that's the formula. It's that simple. We do this already, whether we know it or not. And so now once you begin to understand how it actually works, you're going to become aware how you do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So know that you have control of it and you can change it and mold it into whatever it is you want. And like I said, it could be anything you want. So imagine big and stay loyal in your mind to that unseen reality, and I promise you, you will see it in your 3D world. It is law. It must occur. So have faith in knowing that it's happening. Just as sure as the sun will rise in the morning sky and the stars will appear in the midnight sky, know that it's there and that it will materialize in your world. And know that it's only you, the operant power and creator of your world. So I hope you found this helpful and it makes some more sense. I'd be glad to hear in the comments below any questions you may have or any other topics you may want to hear about, any other thing you want me to get more in depth about. In the meantime, I'm sending you so much love. Happy manifesting. Take care, and I'll see you soon here again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.